Welcome to the magical jungle of Costa Rica. Today's morning flow is a perfect way to feel energized, awake, and alive if you are feeling a bit low, out of energy, or just still drifting in dreamland. Let the majestic presence of this fiery volcano infuse your being, stimulating your own inner fire and awakening your mind, body, and spirit. So grab some water or a steaming cup of your favorite morning beverage and let's flow. All right, let's get started standing at the top of the mat. Lift the hands up to the sky, stretch and reach up and fold forward, rolling back up, stretch up and release forward with your exhale, inhaling, rolling up, keep moving. Reach up to the sky, fold forward, and this time stay in your forward fold. Grabbing onto your elbows, release the head, let it relax, and just swinging from side to side. Allow your head to be loose and relaxed, maybe bob up and down. Bending your knees if you need to, keeping your back straight. And then release the hands to the mat and begin to bend one knee and then the other. Getting into each hamstring slowly and gently at first. Slowly and gently. And now let's hold in our forward fold. Again, bending the knees if you need to. Bringing the nose toward the shins. And then as we bend into the knees, let's lift up to chair pose. Feet and knees are together, reaching up to the sky, keeping the back straight, and fold forward. Lift up halfway, and step or hop back to plank. Chaturanga down, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Release any tension, and lift the right leg up to the sky, bend the knee, step it between the hands. Back heel comes down, lifting up to warrior one. And hands come down to the mat, step back to plank, blow it out again, upward facing dog, and then releasing back into downward facing dog. Let's do the other leg, lift it up to the sky, step it between the hands, lifting up to warrior one. Back heel is on the mat, and hands come down, back to plank, Chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Doing our Surya Namaskar B. Let's bend the knees and step or hop between the hands. Forward fold, and sitting up to chair as we bend into the knees, squatting down, and then releasing up into Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a deep breath in, grounding down through the feet. And let's bend into chair pose once again. Hold and exhale, release down into forward fold. Lift halfway and step or hop back to plank, Chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Right leg lifts. Steps between the hands, back foot pivots open, and coming down, stepping back to plank and flowing it out again, upward facing dog to downward facing dog. This time the left leg lifts, three-legged dog, and steps between the hands for warrior one. Hands come down to the mat, step back to plank, Chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Let's keep moving. Bend the knees, step or hop between the hands, forward fold, and sitting up to chair pose, reach up to the sky, and standing up to mountain pose. Taking a moment to recenter, then lift your right knee, preparing for eagle pose, left elbow over right. Sitting down into eagle, left foot is wrapped around that right ankle, coming down as far as you can, and then lift up and only untwist the legs and reach it back into warrior 3 and step it back into our high lunge. Release your arms now, reach up to the sky and pivot open to warrior 2, bending into the left knee, and then extend the knee as you lift the arms up to the sky, coming onto the heel, and then coming back down, flowing, lifting up and down, warrior 2, and then lift up. This time reaching up, place your foot back on the mat, reach the right arm behind you and lift up with the left arm, and coming forward to triangle pose, reaching the right arm up to the sky, or you can place it behind your back onto that left hip. And then let's reach up and over with that left arm again, and coming back down to triangle pose, opening the right hip. You can look up at the sky or keep your gaze on the mat, and bringing both hands down to the mat, squaring off the hips, finding our reverse triangle. Left arm reaches up to the sky, and let's bend into the left knee, reach that left arm to the back of the right leg, right arm reaches up, and then let's release both arms, coming up to the sky, and bringing all your strength and power into that left leg. Let's shift the weight forward, coming into our standing splits pose. Right leg reaches up to the sky, and then bend the knee and step it with the left foot. Forward fold, and rolling up into Tadasana. Hands come down to heart. Let's keep moving. Let's do our eagle pose on the other side. So right elbow over the left knee over the right. Sitting down into eagle, going as low as you can, and then lifting up, reach that left leg back into warrior 3, keeping the eagle arms, and step it back into our high lunge. Release the arms, reach up, bending into the right knee, inhale and exhale, coming into warrior 2. Let's lift up onto that right heel and then come down. Lift up, reach up, and come down. One more time, reaching up, and warrior 2. Let's lift up now again, releasing back into a different version of reverse warrior with both legs straight. And pivoting forward, coming into triangle pose, left arm to the sky, or place it back behind you, resting the back of your hand on your right hip, and coming up, reaching up and over with that right arm, a variation of reverse warrior, and coming back down to triangle pose. You can stay in this variation or reach up to the sky, hold and breathe, and then pivoting, squaring off the hips to the front of the mat, reach up with that right arm, reverse triangle, and bend into the right knee, reach back with that right arm to the back of the left leg. Left arm is reaching up and back, and cartwheeling the arms up into high lunge. Let's shift forward into our standing splits. Left leg is reaching up to the sky, and bend the knee and step it together, forward fold. Bending from the hips before we roll up slowly to Tadasana, reaching up, and hands come down to heart. Recentering, coming back to the breath, and then sitting down to chair pose. Fold forward, and step or hop back to plank. Flowing it out, coming into upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Reach the right leg up to the sky, step it between the hands, back foot pivots open, warrior 1, and release the hands down to the mat, step back to plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, step between the hands, warrior 1, And release the hands down to the mat. Step back to plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Let's bend the knees and step or hop between the hands. Lift up to chair pose. And fold forward, straightening the legs. And then bending into the knees, lifting up onto the balls of the feet. Let's sit down, balancing on our toes, and give yourself a big hug. Be a little ball. You can stay here, or you can open the knees and fold over, bringing the chest toward the mat, the forehead toward the mat. The hands can rest on the mat or wrap around your ankles. And then let's lift up, coming back to center, sitting down to the mat, rolling back, bringing the back to the mat. And let's place the feet on either side of the mat. Allow the knees to fall in toward each other and just relax. Coming back to your breath, you can open your palms up to the sky, or you can come into Shavasana, taking a moment to breathe and feel the benefits of all these poses that we just did. Feel your body energized and ready, awake, ready to take on any challenges that may come your way. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Let it all go. Let's come back to the breath. Take a big, deep inhale and exhale. Let's bring the knees into the chest and come up to seated in the center of your mat, finding a comfortable position with the sit bones grounding through the mat. Let's reach the hands up to the sky, stretching up, and bring them down to heart. Thank you for flowing with me. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.